Hello everybody and welcome back to the world's smallest city. That's right, it's Megacity Tom. Today it's going to be getting just a little bit bigger. So far we have the mighty River Potomkin and our commercial zone skyscrapers. Also the other side of the river, the little bit more industrial area. But there's a few things that are missing from the city as it stands. Many of you asked where I got the little model cities from. So it's a product called GeoCrapers, and it's really hard to get hold of outside of Japan. I got mine from a site called HobbyLink Japan, who incidentally had seen my previous video, and they sent me a whole load more stuff to build the city to be even bigger. So big thanks to them. If you guys want to get some GeoCrapers, there'll be a link to their website below. Go and check it out. So I really want to build up the density of the back part of the city. Because, you know, big buildings, they just want to be around other big buildings. I fear we're going to have to make a couple of tweaks to the city as it stands to accommodate all the new things that are coming in. Probably we're going to have to change a couple of the road networks, but that sounds very overwhelming right now. How about we just move over to a different part of the city? Maybe we'll check out our industrial area. At the moment, not really that industrial at all. So we have our little chem plant down there, but now I've got a few more of these chem plants, and we're just going to put them all around the playground. Great. It doesn't seem like the best, but I think it's okay. It'll be fine. So there's going to be a lot of people working over here, and if you're a commuter, there's now a gigantic car park for you to come and visit. There's a pretty big road network in this city. So we're probably going to need to get a few more car parks around, because at the moment I'm not entirely sure what people are doing with their cars. So we're going to get a few more chem plants here with those big old chemical drums, real nice, and some offices for them to take the chemicals into and do some chem research. We're also going to extend the docks with a very special docks piece, which I'm sure is going to be a fan favorite. Very nice. Maybe we'll have just a couple more of these big industrial offices. Perfect. So the almighty River Potomkin is going to have to grow a little bit more to accommodate how big the city is getting, as that is what they do. Rivers match the size of the city, but we can now get a second bridge coming through. We're going to be making tweaks all over the place. Nothing's like super set in stone, but that's kind of part of the fun of playing with these little model buildings. So I have a real love of little models and of cities. Like, you do not understand just how much joy these things bring me. So let's continue our road along over here. People are going to have to get from one side of the city to the other. Maybe we can tweak this whole setup. Oh, that gives us like a little corner. So we're going to need like a slightly bigger building over here. As this is growing, they're going to need a import and export prime headquarters. What about this guy? Look how big it is. Perfect. Right on the waterfront. Wow. And because these people, they're worried about their environmental impact, a lot of companies don't care about that kind of thing. So I think they're going to be putting in a lovely, beautiful new park right beside all the offices. It's great. It's perfect. It's hard to keep a straight face when dealing with how crummy a little park this is. I don't know how popular a park it'll be. So we need to bulk out the back part of the city. And I think we're just going to throw a couple of roads down in and then just add a bunch of skyscrapers. It's probably the smartest way to do this. This road can just loop straight down. Maybe we get a bit creative with it. We'll see. So we're just going to add a few more just big old commercial buildings. And also, I think we're going to need to get some more housing down here. A bunch of low density buildings. Although, when I say low density, I don't mean low density. These are big like 3-story high blocks of flats, houses. That's pretty dense. People want to be living as close to work as possible. You don't want to have to be using the absolutely bonkers roadway system. Hopefully you can walk to work. I don't know if there's buses. I hope there's buses. They're always a good call. I think maybe we can even have a little park right by the bridge. Let's just fill this up with just a couple more blocks of houses. And, man, they look great. Pow, that's looking pretty good. I like this area. It looks nice. So I've decided to make some changes. I've moved this whole bridge section in by a segment, and I've moved the other stuff to the outside. I didn't like having the bridge right at the edge of the map. I feel like it just makes more sense from a aesthetic point of view. I could see everyone getting a little bit worried that the car park wasn't going to return, but it's back. Don't worry. And the road can just disappear into this little tunnel down by here. I feel way happier with how this whole thing looks now. So now we've got the original city coming together. It's time to add a few more special areas. So first of the new exciting zones is going to have to be a little bit further out. There's still going to be houses pretty close and some offices too. So they're not going to be the fancy center of the city places. They're a bit more on the outskirts. But even those people need to park somewhere. And so the main reason why these places are quite as cheap as they are is because they are right next to the TOM International Airport. Pow! It's a very new addition to the Megacity Tom infrastructure. A lot of people were pretty unhappy about the construction because it's gonna be kind of noisy. But man, wow, look how central this is. If you're coming to see Megacity Tom, all you have to do is catch in a flight, come down here, zoom across the freeway, and bam, you're in the center of everything. And wow, isn't that beautiful? And no airport would be complete without its very own runway as well. You can go straight from the hangar, straight to one of these terminals, I think? 3 gates? I'm not entirely sure. But that's a lot of places. So how long does a runway actually need to be? I'm sure I could work out the scale. How about this long? Is this fine? Sure, I think this is okay. Also, not forgetting the tiny little rivals as they come in. The little kits for the airport, they do come with tiny model planes, which are adorable. Wow, it really gives you a sense of scale. Like, look how busy it is. There are 2 planes waiting to take off. One's already going. Amazing. So we kind of got to fix the roads over here, as they're kind of turning into a bit of a mess. The airport security, they're going to be keeping an eye on things, and before anyone panics, no one's going to be crashing into the runway. We're going to have a turning here, and maybe we should have a park here. All of the rides can be airport themed. The swings, they could be little planes. Lots of plane motifs everywhere. Maybe a helicopter. Who knows? It'll be sponsored by Tom Airlines. What a great park. I also feel like the rest of this area is all going to be residential now, but with 1 or 2 extra little pieces. The mighty freeway is just going to come along and go down into an almighty tunnel, because it's got to make way for a very important landmark. But there's going to be a couple more houses as well. It may get a little bit noisy from time to time, but it's not the end of the world. Also, I don't think it makes sense to have houses quite that close. I think we should swap those for massive car parks. Pow! Just like that. That makes way more sense. That's a lot of car parks. I do like the roads that go into the sort of underground road system. They've got like kind of slightly different little buildings on them. And as long as the tunnel re-emerges somewhere later, that's fine. So let's put down some little apartment blocks. Or maybe that isn't an apartment block. Maybe that's a budget hotel owned by the airline. You've just turned up. You need somewhere to stay. You don't want to go all the way into the city. Pow! You can stay right here. It's probably not 5 stars, but it's still pretty good. Just ignore all of the rumors you've heard about it. So I'm pretty sure that this area over here would have been called Old Town. The reason it's called Old Town is because of a very special building that exists there. Pow! It's the ancient Tomodachi Castle, or Tomodachi Castle. They're not going to be able to knock this down. It's hundreds of years old, but in turn, a lot of people want to live here, come and stay around. Tourists want to visit from far and wide. They need to be able to get in and out. So surrounding the castle will be this big residential area. There could be some little shops selling castle knickknacks and stuff, and they're all living within the shadow of the castle. The locals say that the spirits of old live in the castle, and they look after all the people of Old Town. What cool guys. So to wrap up just the back little corner of Old Town, I think we're going to add in a big old car park right at the end of the runway. Also, the Mega Hotel, which it's kind of like a fun design. Very premium. Wow. So I think we have just a few last things to do to wrap up the expansion of Megacity Tom. So first of all, we're going to have to make some minor tweaks to this road system. So the very confusing Mega Loop, which I'm not sure how many people really appreciated, that's gone. I'm actually going to have to carve out a whole load of the middle part of this city. The engineers are saying that it is one of the most ambitious jobs in all city planning history. Luckily, we've got professionals here. So we're going to have to knock down a couple of buildings. Don't worry about those. We will rebuild them elsewhere later, probably. So the airport is not going to be the only way that we're getting people into this city. Introducing the new Memorial Mega Station. The largest train station ever built in Megacity Tom. Maybe the only train station built in Megacity Tom. It's also complete with its own very complicated little road system to move people around, some little parking bays and pickup points. But how are people going to get into and out of the mega station, I hear you ask? Well, never fear. The engineers have already planned this. Pow! Look at these train tracks. That's 6 train lines all together. The most powerful trains ever created will be riding along these. Maglevs? Is that a thing? Do those exist? Sure, we've got maglevs in the city. Bam, that's a lot of trains. So now we can just quickly fill in some of the other buildings that we knocked down before. Some of the houses, some of the offices, don't worry, they're back. All to surround the new Memorial train station. But if you now think about all the people that can be coming into and out of the city, what an improvement. We are going to have to destroy an extra piece of road, but we can just replace that with some brand new tunnels. It's fine. There are a lot of tunnels in Megacity Tom, not gonna lie. This kind of makes sense. So this tunnel here leads straight into the underground car park of the Megacity Tom Memorial train station. You can drive, you can train, you can plane. We've got it all in Megacity Tom. But you may be asking, why have you got this big hole in the middle of the city? Why was this such a grand undertaking? Who wants to come and visit this desolate nightmare? Well, we have a very special piece to place in here. Get ready for it. That's right, it's our very own Tokyo Tower. Wow, look at this beautiful boy. People are going to come from far and wide to visit the city. I cannot wait. So I really feel like we have improved the city today. We revamped the entire industrial area. We moved the docks. We added an extra bridge. There's more places for facilities, people to come here and work. There's offices, there's extra parks. Then we realized that we needed to get more people into the city. So we added the airport. The TOM airport. Is it weird that I'm using my name for everything? I kind of think it is a little bit weird. But it's fine. It's okay. Then we go over to where Old Town is, with the Tomodachi Castle. Look at it in all of its ancient glory. It's survived for thousands of years, and it still stands strong today. Maybe just like hundreds of years, actually. I think thousands is probably too many. Then we came back and we revamped the other side of the city. We demolished some of the buildings, we moved some of the road networks around. We've got a brand new train station, more skyscrapers, and we unleashed the new Megacity Tom Tower in all its glory. I kind of feel like the city's sort of come to its natural conclusion now. It's getting very big, and I am in love with it. And remember, if you guys are looking for somewhere to go on your holidays, maybe just consider Megacity Tom. Goodbye.